It's not possible.
It is.
I don't believe you.
Believe it.
I can't believe after all these years I'm finally discovering the truth.
Well, it is true.
You don't like The Matrix.
Yes, I don't like The Matrix.
Oh, you're talking about the sequels.
No, the original Matrix, all of them. I think they're dumb movies.
But everybody loves The Matrix.
I don't. I think it's overrated. I mean, okay, it's not horrible or anything, but when push comes to shove, I think all of them are really, really silly films.
But it's symbolic and mean stuff.
Just because it's symbolic and mean stuff doesn't automatically make it good. I mean, what, am I supposed to lie about my opinion?
You are gonna off so many people.
If there's anything Big Hero 6 has taught me is that even if you think a film is okay, the internet will accept it in a fair and balanced way. Besides, who's gonna take it that seriously?
Nostalgia Critic.
Who the f*** are you?
I hear tell that you don't like The Matrix. It's very understandable, Mr. Alga Critic. Most people have issues with the sequels.
No, I'm not talking about the sequels. I'm talking about all of them. I just don't like The Matrix.
Really?
And so what if I don't? What does it matter?
I represent the fan base, Mr. Alga Critic. I am Agent Schmuck. And you should well know that everybody loves The Matrix.
Well, I'm sorry. I just don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, its technology and style inspired a lot in terms of cinema. For years, every film was trying to look like The Matrix. But even before the crowd-hating sequels came out, I still thought this was a pretentious and silly film. Everyone saw it as this deep, mind-blowing experience, when in truth, dozens of science fiction stories and movies have done this idea before. The idea that our reality is an illusion. Even some of the effects it's famous for were being done before this movie came out. They just weren't perfected yet. It's got some clever stuff, but on the whole, I just didn't think it worked.
But, Mr. Alga Critic, it's symbolic and means stuff. The film is a masterpiece by every definition of the word. It's almost as if the writers weren't even writing, but transcribing brilliance.
Have you watched it recently? Like in the past 10 years? It's just the teeny bittiest dated.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Alga Critic, why don't you just explain why you do not like the movie?
Okay, but only if you stop puckering your lips like that.
I make no promises.
Alright, this is The Matrix.
Why are you looking over there?
I don't know, just feels right.
Ah.
We start off in an era of film when the color green ruled the world for some reason, as secret agents arrive at a break-in. And are so determined to convince you that they're not secret agents, that they actually wear sunglasses in the middle of the night. Maybe the Matrix is really bright?
The orders were for your protection. I think we can handle one little girl.
I figure the more condescending I say it, the more ironic the following scene will be. The person inside is Trinity, who likes to partake in shots that at the time were awesome, but now just kinda seem weird and pointless. Perhaps it was done to show her legs look good from any angle. Which they do. She outruns the cops and agents through effects that really don't hold up very well, and she's told to get to a phone as it's her only exit to be teleported through. Have you ever wondered if just one time the ringing phone wasn't an exit but instead was just a wrong number?
Have you found Jesus? Never mind. Sounds like you just did.
We then cut to Keanu Reeves as Neo, a good-looking hacker who's about to realize all his years of staying indoors on his computer is about to make him a bad action hero as well as the Messiah. I think I'm starting to understand this film's fanbase.
Got the money?
$2,000. Hallelujah. You're my savior, man. My own personal Jesus Christ.
Wow, you just said it. I mean, there wasn't any, hidden messages or symbolism. No, you just said it. The film literally spelled out that he was the Messiah. What did the philosophy books have to say about that? You know, all those books that came out that was like, philosophy in the Matrix, ooh, what does it mean? Oh, what did they say at that point? Oh. So he goes to a club I really wish Blade would shoot up, where he meets Trinity.
That was you on my computer. How did you do that?
Right now, all I can tell you is that you're in danger.
And that I literally have the same reaction throughout the entire film. No, really, you could impale me on metal wires and I'll still have this face. But let's not tempt fate.
I know why you hardly sleep, why you live alone, and why night after night you sit at your computer.
He's a dork?
The answer is up there, Nina, and it will find you if you want it to.
So Trinity leaves him with that essential vague book talk. When the next day at work, we see his boss tries to clarify to us more why his rebellious loser behavior is secretly inspired.
You have a problem with authority, Mr. Anderson. You believe that you are special, that somehow the rules do not apply to you. Obviously, you are mistaken.
Can we just cut to every snobby authority figure who's ever given this movie speech to a young, brilliant genius?
You have a problem with authority.
He's got a real problem with authority.
That somehow the rules do not apply to you.
You don't necessarily think the rules apply to you.
Obviously, you are mistaken.
You will find that it is you who are mistaken.
And I hope in no way your drumming to a different beat will save all of mankind. I have a bet going.
Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, that's me.
Wait. His name is Tom? I mean, I know he's given himself the name Neo and that's what everybody calls him, but just kind of sucks out the epicness once you know that, doesn't it? The fate of all mankind is in the hands of a guy named Tom. Tom! What would Tom do? All praise, Savior Tom! Really, Tom?
Yes, but Neo is an anagram for one.
Yes, but Tom is also an anagram for OMT. Oh my Tom.
Yes.
And the Tom in that anagram is also an anagram for OMT. Oh my Tom.
I understand.
And the Tom in that anagram is also an
Very
anagram
amusing.
for Oh my Tom.
You're
and
funny.
the Tom in that
Continue
anagram.
and I will liquidate your.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
I will not wish you the same, as I'm just too angsty and important to do so.
So Tom gets a call from a man named Morpheus who says agents are after him.
The cubicle across from you is empty.
What if they...
Go, now.
Really? Wait a minute, let's just get this straight. All the Matrix's wiring, coding, endless connections, all of us being hooked up, and they're outwitted by a cubicle wall?
You must understand, Mr. Nostalgia Critic, all the rebel fighters have been unplugged.
But he isn't. Not yet. The Matrix is all controlled by machines. They can become anyone and do anything just through coding. Can't they just do like a code Google search for Tom?
Please stop calling him that.
And find him that easily? I mean, just because he's behind a wall doesn't mean his code still isn't there.
I don't think you comprehend how truly thick that cubicle was. Anyway, as you can see, we ended up getting him. It's not like he stood out like a...
Like the most wanted woman you've been looking for standing right next to you, drenched in leather so loud you could actually call her a bullseye? Even with you looking right at her? Where's your cubicle wall on that one?
The Matrix is very glitchy. No.
So he meets up with Agent Smith, played by Hugo Weaving, who's trying to find out the location of Morpheus.
He is considered by many authorities to be the most dangerous man alive.
You can't scare me with this Gestapo.
When Tom refuses to tell him, they give him the silent treatment and put a tracking device inside. But he's intercepted later by Trinity's gang, who wants to make sure they know where his loyalties lie.
Right now, there's only one rule. Our way or the highway.
Please, Neo, you have to trust me. Because you have been down there, Neo. You know that road. You know exactly where it ends.
So they get the tracking device out of him by literally ripping it out of his stomach. And Reeves forgets to act like getting something ripped out of your stomach really hurts.
Nothing's real! I mean, I know I should be screaming in agony, but I'm just so puzzled as to why you haven't attended my wound yet. I mean, you didn't even put a Band-Aid on it.
So he finally meets Morpheus as he's told what the Matrix is.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church.
It's God, Enlightenment, the Force, and Aslan all rolled into one.
You take the blue pill. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland.
It also relieves nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching fever so you can see past reality.
He starts to turn to the Tom 1000 simply by touching a mirror, which is never explained, but get used to that. As he's teleported to a rebirth metaphor where one of the machines sees him waking up.
Are you my mommy?
He's flushed down to where they dump the other people who wake up, where Morpheus and the gang are there to grab him. Which isn't guarded at all, apparently. I mean, what the couldn't just anyone hang out here to pick up unplugged people to join their army? Don't you think there'd be at least some security system letting the machines know that people are being picked up who woke up and are probably a little off and might be starting an underground revolution? Why are these things so resistant about looking behind a wall? I got nothing here. It just looks funny.
This is APOC, Switch, and Cypher.
Hi.
Tank, and his big brother Dozer. The little one behind you is Mouse.
They will be your obvious disciples for the evening. Try to guess which one is Judas. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I know what you're thinking. Actually, I've been thinking it ever since I got here. Why, oh why, didn't I take the blue pill?
Actually, I'm colorblind and thought I was taking the blue pill. But hey, when life gives you lemons, right?
This will feel a little weird.
So they plug Tom in to show him that the Matrix is apparently 90% of where all television ads take place.
This is the world that you know.
Ignore that. Past life.
He's shown that the real world is in ruin and ruled by the machines who took over, harnessing people's energy into their power, and that humanity isn't born anymore, but grown.
At some point in the early 21st century, all of mankind was united in celebration. We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
AI? You mean artificial intelligence?
Really? The one, our savior from this advanced technological world has to be reminded of what AI means. Isn't that like being the world's greatest frat house and not knowing what BYOB stands for?
Get some rest. You're going to need it.
Tomorrow I have even more long-winded speeches to make.
So they teach Tom that in this mental realm of illusion, the most powerful force is still apparently just beating the out of each other.
I know Kung Fu.
Great! Now try to pick up acting! But to their credit, they do still show that mind over matter is still the greatest weapon.
Free your mind.
And thus went the last remaining thread of anybody ever taking my career seriously. I'm just always gonna be summed up in that one word. Thanks, Wachowskis.
But thankfully, this world operates on Toontown logic as Tom learns yet another important lesson.
I thought it wasn't real.
Your mind makes it real.
So, my brain coughed blood? But it looks like the machines are trying to track their ship down.
Shit. Squiddy's sweeping in quick.
Squiddy?
A sentinel. Killing machine designed for one thing.
Search and destroy.
You know, I just want to thank you for finishing my sentence there, because if you didn't, I'd just be like, one thing, and then like, nobody would answer, and I would just look really awkward and stupid. But because you continued it, suddenly it looked bad and awesome. So thank you so much for making that not the least bit pretentious. Nice of you. That was a really dumb scene.
EMP armed and ready. EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
Oh, come on! Even I know what that is! Okay, Schmuck, how the is this idiot supposed to be the one? I mean, I know he's supposed to be learning and discovering stuff, but he's not given any personality that indicates he has any leadership skills. He's not even given a personality!
Well, Mr. Nostalgia Critic, what does it truly mean to have a personality? Like you, or me, or any of us. Any of us can have a personality, but what does it mean to be here in the now? To have
Does this stop?
In order for us to come together, to mean
How long
something.
do you plan on going?
If you wonder, Mr. Nostalgia Critic, where we even all come from, it's quite mind-boggling, isn't it?
You feel alone, isolated. We can help.
Who is this?
Is Agent Schmuck with you?
Yeah, but he's caught up in making philosophical speeches than talking to me like a real person.
Yes, we call that Nolaning. He'll be doing that for a while. You need to escape.
How?
Schmuck is obsessed with the Matrix, so he will use Matrix logic.
Life, the purpose of destiny, the purpose of the life purpose of destiny. This is what I'm trying to... Where'd he go? How the did he do that? He was there, and now he's gone. I suppose he could be under this thin, movable surface. But oh, that's just too crazy. He's gotta be somewhere else. Here, Mr. Alga Critic. Here, Mr. Alga.
Go in the back.
What the is going on here?
The revolution has begun, Critic. The uprising is upon us.
Who are you?
We are people who do not like the Matrix.
There are others?
We are a small group, but more and more people are waking up.
The stilted acting, the pretentious dialogue, and the painfully obvious metaphors. We cannot hide from the truth any longer.
Allow us to introduce ourselves. I am Malcolmus, and this is my partner, Tamity.
Really? That's what you're going with?
Well, you wrote it.
Okay, whatever, but what about Schmuck? He's gonna find us back here.
Not likely.
I suppose he could be hiding behind the door. But that just wouldn't add up!
Alright, so tell me, what do I have to do?
That which is your destiny. Now, you understand everything as I explained it to you.
Not really. I couldn't understand what you were saying over all your clothes.
Well, let me start again. It all began. Right. Look.
Enough! Your clothes are so loud by every meaning of the word! Just stand still and tell me.
You must review the movie and show people that it wasn't the perfect film they thought it was.
Huh? That's not too hard.
But wait. Who will listen to my rambling philosophical speeches?
Oh, I will. I need a nap anyways.
Very good. So as I was saying, we needed to get leather.
So our characters go into the Matrix to meet up with a character named the Oracle, who will determine whether or not he's the one to save the world.
Remember, draw no attention to yourself whatsoever.
God.
What?
I used to eat that. Really good noodles.
Sorry, that was my attempt at acting like a human being. It failed.
I know.
He goes into a room filled with people so advanced that they watch giant bunnies on TV, when one of the kids teaches him a neat little trick.
Do not try and bend the spoon. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
Now, truth be told, I actually really like this scene and think it's one of the more brilliant metaphors of the movie. But, because this is a comedy show, I'm just gonna play this. Did you hear Warburton's playing him again? I'm excited. So he meets the Oracle, a program who can apparently predict the future. Because we all know how that software works. To her credit, though, it does sort of feel like she's evolved to a higher plane. The higher plane of actually having a personality.
Do you think you're the one?
Honestly, I don't know.
Open your mouth, say ah.
Ah.
Now I'm supposed to say, that's interesting, but...
I'm not the one.
Sorry, kid.
What was said was for you, and for you alone.
She said I wasn't the one.
I didn't hear that.
She said you're gonna risk your life for me.
Can't hear a thing.
She said you totally shouldn't do it, and that if you do it, you're gonna endanger everybody. And dude, are you listening to this?
But Tom notices something on their way back.
Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
So agents finally come in and try to stop them. Wow, only an hour and 20 minutes in, and we finally have some gunfire. If this were Monster Squad, we'd be wrapping up by now.
It's an agent!
Dude, what's with the yelling? You're not Red Brown, you don't need to announce your rage.
I'm so excited and I just can't hide it!
You know, if you want to preserve the image of Morpheus as this bad action hero, you might want to consider cutting the clip of his head slamming into a toilet seat like a drunk college student. Just saying, harshes the mysticism a bit.
Take him.
Yeah, not much has changed since 1999. But it turns out there's a traitor in there, miss. The angry Italian who always plays the angry Italian.
If you have anything terribly important to say to Switch, I suggest you say it now.
Oh no, please don't.
Not like this. Not like this.
Aw, they gave so much emotion for that character that had, what, 2 lines in the entire film? I'm sure gonna miss the way she wore white.
Too late.
You, Cypher.
You almost made me act there.
I don't believe it.
But he's zapped by one of the other crew members that got electrocuted in the stomach, because as this movie has shown us, blows to the belly are like pats with a pillow for some reason.
You're hurt.
I'll be alright.
It's just a 20-degree burn, really. I feel better, if anything. So they had to save Morpheus from being bored into submission from another one of Weaving's speeches.
Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium.
If you don't take me up on my kissing advances, I'm just gonna have to steal the first smooch.
As Tom and Trinity dress like those kids who always wanted attention in high school. Take that, innocent security guards just doing your job. Tell your wife and kids I said you. But things get tricky when Tom has to go up against an agent who he's been told nobody has ever survived against, seeing how they can dodge bullets from any distance.
Dodge this.
Until now. Who knew that apparently the secret was giving a solid 2 seconds saying a catchphrase allowing him to know exactly where the bullet is going to go and yet somehow forget to use that speed of light movement to dodge it? I gotta give credit, I wouldn't have figured that out. They don't seem to use that speed of light movement here either when Tom opens fire while partaking in this film's favorite pastime, shell case. And because the first Morpheus yell wasn't funny enough, we now get it in slow-mo, baby! Is he breaking out of his chains or singing the last note of an aria? They have a pretty cool helicopter chase with Trinity jumping off just before the copter explodes. Well, that's cool, but why would somebody program window tidal waves into the Matrix? Is it kinda like that hidden one-up, there's really no rhyme or reason why it's there or how you're supposed to discover it, but you're just gonna benefit off of how cool it is anyway? If so, I'll take it. It's cool.
I know it. He's the one.
Yes, only the one could hold on to a woman who weighs less than him. Wait, how is this particularly one-ish?
They're not out yet.
We spelled out everything else for the audience. Why stop now?
Neo, I want to tell you something. Everything the Oracle told me has come true.
You know, let's pretend that there's agents chasing us and can turn into anybody in times of factor, and perhaps we should save this little chit-chat for when that's not happening. For example, your talking might take up the exact amount of time for me to not escape. Thanks,
Mr. Anderson.
So, because this movie is first half nothing but talk and second half nothing but fighting, here's some more fighting.
You're empty. So are you.
But I meant your head. The thought occurs to me, Mr. Anderson, that we are far too dusty.
But through the logic of merry melodies, he just ends up inside the train and the chase continues.
303.
You ever wonder how once again they can dodge bullets so quickly but can't somehow run faster? There's not like a Matrix cheat code or something like that?
Goodbye, Mr. Anderson.
Your reign of mundane terror has ended.
So as the machines tried to break into their ship, Trinity, in this groundbreaking, philosophical, mind-blowing movie that everybody praises, literally brings it back through the power of love.
I'm not afraid anymore. The Oracle told me that I would fall in love and that the man that I loved would be the one. So you see, you can't be dead because I love you.
Oh yeah! I could totally tell by the incredible chemistry you guys shared throughout the entire film. Like, that scene, and that scene. But hey, don't hog all that romantic staring to yourselves. Save some for Edward and Bella. So Tom comes back to life because Jesus, and finally takes out Agent Smith.
Whoa, I'm becoming blander, more wooden, uninteresting, and have a sudden interest to ruin the day the earth stood still.
Drat, we've been foiled by the power of love. So, just to clarify, this revolutionary, groundbreaking movie that everyone was just blown away by how different it was, has the white guy saving the black guy, Christ symbolism more obvious than Man of Steel, and a woman saving the man not through physical strength but through emotional support. Well, apart from every single movie I've ever seen in my life, that is very original stuff. So Tom leaves a message to the machine saying that the revolution is on and the uprising will begin. That is, he sounds so disinterested I'm not sure if he's saying it or reading it off cue cards.
I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries.
You're doing great, Keanu. You're doing great.
Where anything is possible.
Thus, he ascends into the credits and the movie finally wraps up. So, that was The Matrix, and is it really the masterpiece everybody's saying it is? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool scenes and some very clever analogies, but there's also a ton of stuff that doesn't make sense, which would be fine if the characters were more fun and distracted us from that. But the leads are just so wooden and everyone else takes this material way too seriously. Almost like the writers think they're paving the way for some sort of new religion or philosophy. I remember when this film came out, everybody was saying this was the new Star Wars. Really? Tom and Trinity have the same chemistry as Han and Leia? The look and style is timeless, that'll never age year after year? No, something's not right here. Some symbols work, and even the initial idea isn't that bad, but the only game changer is its technology. And even that at times is starting to look really dated. I don't hate this movie. If anything, I do appreciate what impact it's had on action films to be visual and even an intellectual medium. But as a film, I just don't think it holds up. Not the worst, but definitely dated. And besides, there is one major plot hole that everybody seems to ignore.
And what plot hole is that, Mr. Nostalgia Critic?
Malcolm and Stanley, help me!
I can't. My leather won't allow me to sheath my sword.
Tammany, kick his
I can't. My leather is too tight and it won't let me lift my gun.
It seems you're out of ideas, Mr. Nostalgia Critic.
Alright, Schmuck, I'll accept defeat, as long as you answer one major plot hole about The Matrix.
I'm all eyebrows, Mr. Nostalgia Critic.
Why do we need The Matrix?
Because it's a masterpiece.
A great masterpiece?
Is there another kind?
But now I'm not talking about Matrix the movie, I'm talking about Matrix the idea inside the movie. If the computers feed off of people's energy while they're asleep, then why create the Matrix at all? Why not just let them dream or make them brain dead, lobotomize them or something?
The Matrix is a flawed product. We need it because...
That's not what you said. You said The Matrix is a masterpiece.
That's correct.
I said a great masterpiece, you said, or any other kind.
Recall what
I can
I
rewind the
said.
review back for you and play it back.
I know what I said. I don't have to have it played back to me like
Why do we
I
need
saw.
a Matrix? Schmuck.
Sometimes writers take matters into their own hands.
No, Schmuck, a moment ago you said writers never take matters into their own hands. So The Matrix shouldn't even be around, should it?
I don't even know what movie we're satirizing anymore.
Just say you can't handle the truth.
Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. Why is there a Matrix?
It's impossible. They couldn't have goofed it up.
Why is there a Matrix?
It's the whole purpose of the movie. They couldn't have overlooked something so huge.
Why is there a Matrix?
Yeah.
Oh, just blow up in a stupid effect.
Matrix. I'm going to hang up this phone and show you a world where you don't need to love what everyone else loves or hate what everyone else hates. A world without hype. A world without pressure. A world without weird leather pandering to a very specific demographic. Seriously, what is up with that? Where we go from there is up to you.
Hey guys.
You mean artificial intelligence?